Here we go with example 1 of section 12.4. A couple definitions before we actually do the example. So definitions. We have here an isosceles triangle. We know that already because two of the sides of the triangle are congruent. We call the two congruent sides of an isosceles triangle, we call those legs. And the non-congruent side, we call the base. Okay, we don't call it base because it's on the bottom. It won't necessarily always be on the bottom. Okay, now the two angles that go along the base are called the base angles, while the third angle, the angle that's between the two congruent sides, we call the vertex angle. Now, we have a theorem known as the Base Angles Theorem, which says that if these two sides are congruent, then automatically I know their opposite angles are also congruent. So side AB and AC are congruent, then angle B, which is across from this angle, will be congruent to angle C, which is across from the side. So if I mark that on the figure, I would mark that angle B and C are congruent. So let me go up here. So angle B would be congruent to angle C. And that's the Base Angles Theorem. So if the sides are congruent, then the angles are congruent. That's known as the Base Angles Theorem. Now the converse of that is saying, well, if the angles are congruent, then their opposite sides must be congruent. So this side must be congruent to that side if angle B and C are congruent. So in the example, we simply have to answer the question, in triangle DEF, DE and DF are congruent. Notice they are marked congruent on the figure. Name two congruent angles. Well, if these sides are congruent, then the angle across from them, angle F, and the angle across from this one, angle E, have to be congruent. So we would say angle E is congruent to angle F. It's okay to use 1 point because there's no confusion about which angle on here is E and which one is F. So you don't have to use 3 points. And there we go for example 1.